really ramp up the results in your organization. So let's jump into our AI strategic session today. I'll share my screen. Here we go. So your AI strategic roadmap, ultimately this is where you'll end up with a really clear plan of where the future is going to look like. But first of all, let's start by saying, who's the session for? This is very much for business leaders. This won't be a heavy session on AI machine learning for AI machine learning experts, but I'm going to share with you a bit of terminology to help level up your knowledge around AI. Now, with this, one thing that I really want for you is to be prepared. Just like the Boy Scouts, being prepared both from a mind and body perspective. Now, from a mindset, it's all about figuring out how to use AI at work. Now, when we speak with CEOs and leaders in organizations, people are struggling with this one. And so that's natural, it's normal as soon as you get new technologies come into place and you're trying to figure out, first of all, where it will work and then impact on workers as well. And so it's really nice to understand, first of all, how fast are things changing? Because, should you be starting now or leaving it till later? And the interesting thing is the organizations that are adopting AI and automation now are the ones that are increasing their revenue, they're reducing their cost base, they're allowing their team members to skill up and move into different roles. That being said, there are some dramatic impacts out there, like what we've seen with the fintech company Klarna, who recently came out and shared that over 700 jobs in their organization are being replaced by AI agents. Now, with this, the roles are changing. So people are shifting from doing a lot of basic tasks and interactions to moving up to more strategic type roles. The pace of change is going to be quite remarkable. And we're just starting to see it now. And as the year progresses, those that really jump on board with this now will see some significant impact. I'm going to show you an example of what's possible, multiple examples of what's possible today. And here's the speed of these changes. Now, as we look at this from a compute perspective, we're essentially in a new era now with AI and machine learning. Between the 1960s, around 2010, what we saw was the speed of change was essentially doubling every 2 years, and it came in alignment with the compute capacity increasing. Now with AI and machine learning, this curve is going to a 10x change per year. So the opportunity in business to leverage results, to be able to use AI to actually leverage those results in your organizations is extraordinary. There's no time like there is right now. And the World Economic Forum came out earlier this year and said that 40 to 60% of roles will be disrupted by AI, and that it's really that 60% sits in white collar first world roles where we'll see this real disruption. And what it means for us is that we're shifting from leading individuals to actually leading individuals, people and technology and the AI at the same time. Now, the statement comes out, AI won't take your job, but AI-powered people will take out those that do not embrace AI. And we're seeing that already. We see it when we look at things like, who's going to win this race? If you looked between two farmers, one who's got the two bullocks there and the plowing the fields, and then you've got the farmer with the tractor. If you were going to place a bet, I'm sure you're going to put all your money on B. And the difference between these two is actually quite simply the tools that they're using. And it reminds me of a great video from Steve Jobs. I'll share this one on the fact that we are, as humans, we are tool builders.
I remember reading an article when I was a Scientific American, where they measured the efficiency of locomotion for all these species on planet Earth. How many kilocalories did they expend to get from point A to point B? And the condor won, came in at the top of the list, surpassed everything else. And humans came in about a third of the way down the list, which was not such a great showing for the crown of creation. And but somebody there had the imagination to test the efficiency of a human riding a bicycle. Human riding a bicycle blew away the condor, all the way off the top of the list. And it made a really big impression on me that we humans are tool builders, and that we can fashion tools that amplify these inherent abilities that we have to spectacular magnitudes. And so for me, a computer has always been a bicycle of the mind, something that takes us far beyond our inherent abilities. And I think we're just at the early stages of this tool, very early stages. And we've come only a very short distance. And it's still in its formation, but already we've seen enormous changes. I think that's nothing compared to what's coming in the next 100 years.
Now, Jobs has certainly got it right. He's talking just about computing there, and now we're talking about the computing of AI and actually applying AI at work. So the main thing is to think of AI as a tool. And when we think of it as a tool that we can utilize, it kind of removes a lot of the fear from it because it's over to us as the humans to utilize the tool. I like to think with all this speed of change, there's some things that don't change. And one of those is that in business, we've still got marketing and sales and customer service and product and service delivery, operations, IT, HR, finance, whatever your pillars in business are, those departments, each might be a little bit different in different organizations, but these are the foundation. And if we were to look at that and think of it like a garden hose, and that we're going to have a flow of customers coming through the customer journey, and out the other end is the value creation. And along the way there, the customer journey passes through all of these different departments, and we need that flow to happen as fast as possible at a highest volume possible. But if we think about business a little bit like a garden hose, and when you first get started, that garden hose might be all looped around, it might have a kink in it, some water can flow through, and that's enough for now. But as you start to turn the pressure on, all the systems and processes get tested, and we're constantly looking at upgrading those systems and processes to suit how the business changes. You might find that there's some leaks along the way, or some cracks or some kinks, and they need to be ironed out. And the opportunity now is when you go to look at those changes is to think AI first in your approach. And so that's what we'll be doing today. We'll be thinking AI first. Our plan of attack today is to cover an AI foundation for business leaders. We'll cover some terminology, some ideas. Key component here is to inspire you with what's possible. Then section 2, we're going to talk about the plan and implement process. So how we're actually going to pull together an AI strategic roadmap to ensure that you're focusing on the most impactful elements first. And then I'll share with you the 4 new AI roles in business that's going to set you up for success in the future. Now, my name is Matt Kesby. I'm the Chief AI Officer at GoTeam and Multiply Tech. At GoTeam, we help support clients all around the world with full-time employees out of the Philippines. They're AI-powered people. We are the home of AI-powered people. And we build the AI tools to support people both in the GoTeam organization, but also internationally through our tech company, Multiply Tech. Now, we've been building technology for a long time. I've been building out systems since 2007. We have a multi-award-winning fintech, prop tech business in Australia. And I've spent over a decade in the change management space, which is a really important combination between people and technology as you go through this change. So I'm going to share with you all my information and help you as much as I can, certainly in this session and future sessions as well. One thing to note that when you're going through change as leaders, we really need to walk the talk. And as you go through this time of change, you'll find that some people are going to fear it. Now, where does fear come from? Well, we fear the things that we don't know, or ambiguity. When we can't actually see what comes next, that's when the brain and the body starts to go, hey, let's be cautious. Now, it's during this time where we need to take action rather than slowing down. And so the intent here for you as a leader is to be able to, first of all, remove your fear of AI by being more inquisitive. That's responding out of love versus fear. And with that, start taking the action that inspires others to follow what you're doing. It very much reminds me of the Gandhi paradox, which is nothing you do as an individual matters, but it's vitally important that you do it anyway. You see, what we do as leaders is going to inspire others to take action. So it is the case now to get hands-on and start learning. So let's commence the learning with some content, and so that you can then place that content into the context of your own business. Here are just a few items to warm us up with. Well, AI is artificial intelligence. It's essentially like human intelligence, but it's artificial. Now, it's fascinating. The deeper you get into this, the more that you work with AI, the more that it will really feel like human intelligence, because a lot of what we're doing is prompting the AI with questions in order to get answers out. And just like when you're communicating with a human, the quality of your question will impact the quality of the answer you get. So it really does require us to begin with the end in mind, articulate with specificity what we're after. And that just goes the same if you're setting a goal. The clearer you are on setting the goal, the more likely you are to achieve the goal. Now, a couple of new terms here that I haven't covered in the past sessions. RPA, which stands for Robotic Process Engineering, or Automation, pardon me, Robotic Process Automation, and IPA, which is Intelligent Process Automation. Now, robotic process automation is where we can teach the computer to follow a step-by-step process and repeat it every single time. Intelligent process automation is where we start to bring AI into the process to help make decisions, change the way the AI communicates, and can go all the way into some amazing things like even making AI phone calls now. Human in the loop, this is where as the humans, as we look at that process, there'll be steps where we want to check the process, make some adjustments or take over. And that human in the loop process in business is a vital one, especially as you're transitioning from the old way, all manual, to the new way where we're augmenting people, we're powering them with AI, we're powering them with automations to not just double, but maybe even 500 or 1,000x the output for the individuals. Now, then vector database, which we use for retrieval augmented generation, or RAG for short. You're going to hear a lot about RAG as you go forward. The core piece behind it is the vector database. And that's where we're taking documents and information and we're converting them into arrays of numbers so that the machine can actually read that more effectively and use the information. Now, where does this go? If we think about a process today in business, for example, let's think about accounts receivable or debt collection. Very important for any business, especially if you're in the B2B environment, if you're sending out invoices that then your customers need to pay. Well, chances are you'll have a team member in your organization that actually goes through this process on a monthly basis. They need to obtain the list of outstanding debtors, then review the notes in the CRM to see if there's been any updates of payment or communication. From there, prepare and send an email to each debtor about the debt collection. Then at best practice, also prepare and send an SMS to each debtor, then call each debtor, then update the CRM, and then update the accounting system. Now, if you've got a team member on average in a role like this, might be around $80,000 per annum in Australia or USA, if you've got a great quality person that's handling this process. And depending on the number of customers that you have, it's quite normal for this process to consume the majority of a week each month with all the follow-up and checks and communications when done thoroughly. Once again, it depends on the volume of your customers. You might have multiple people doing this particular activity. Now, where the future lays, and when I say the future is here right now, is to actually look at this process differently with an AI-first approach and including intelligent process automation. Here, imagine a world where you could just ask an AI agent to please run the accounts receivable process for the month, at which point in time the AI agent could trigger off a automation powered with AI to obtain the list of outstanding debtors. Then the AI could go off and review the notes in the CRM that's aligned to that list of debtors. From that information, the AI could then prepare and send an email to each of the debtors, but potentially you could pause that with a human in the loop step so that each of those emails before they get sent, the human could check them. So a human doesn't have to write them, but the human checks all those emails. Then also the AI prepares the SMS to send to the debtors. Human checks those first. And then when happy, sends those off. And then the call that needs to be done for each debtor, a script that's written per debtor, done by the AI. And then the AI makes the phone call, interacts with the client. And then any of the information that comes from that interaction can then be returned back into the CRM and update the accounting system. Each of these steps could have human in the loop in them. And with that, if we looked at, what's the impact of this? Because whenever you're doing changes with AI, the best thing to do is to look at, what is the process, what is the goal, what is the cost to run this today, and what would be the impact after actually applying AI and automation. So an example here, if you've got a base salary of $80,000, by the time you have all the on costs as well, it can be around $108,000. That's around $2,000 a week, or over $400 a day, or $52 per hour. Now, the labor cost to run a process like this, saying that it was, let's say it was 1 week per month to run this, then that's around $2,000 per month, or $24,000, almost $25,000 per annum. Now, when we apply AI and automation, this process with human in the loop, once again, depends on volume, but for an average business that was taking a week, could now take this down to a day to execute this particular flow. Now, as a result, what we start to see there is that the cost of impact is quite significant. So we now go from $2,000 each month to run the process to $415, or if you're doing this role offshore, maybe just $145 in the labor cost to do the activity. Now, from there, you'll have some AI and automation costs. And if we look at this combined together, the cost to run could be as low as around $4,000 and have over a $20,000 saving per annum for the organization. So it's when you get to moments like this that it starts to make sense. Okay, that's just one process in the business where you can utilize AI-powered people augmented with the AI and intelligent process automation. And all of a sudden it's like, okay, where else in the business could we be finding these cost savings? And it's not just about cost saving, because it's also about quality and consistency and speed, and actually being able to hit all of those three together. It's quite unusual. We're sort of feeling like we're breaking the laws of physics now, that you can impact time, quality, and cost, the three sides of the project triangle, all at the same time. Now, where it goes one step further into the future is where once you've got the confidence in that process, that you can start to then remove the human in the loop steps at different stages, and eventually get it to a point where you're just asking the AI to do the process, or setting it up to automatically run that process each month, and then really just landing this as a final human check at the end, or maybe doing some spot checks along the way. This is where we as humans start to change, our roles change, that we will be ones that are leading the AI in the future, and we'll essentially having the robots doing a lot of the work for us, and the human will oversee the work that's being done. This means that we move a step up the strategic ladder, and it requires a new skill set. It certainly requires a new mindset, definitely a new skill set. And the tool set, I'm going to share some of the tools with you today so you can check those out. All right, let's go. There's some, plenty of other terminology I can share. A few of these things, like just understanding the building blocks of AI, that we're going to be using things like speech to text, and then there's text to text. If you use ChatGPT, you're familiar with that text in, text out. We've also got the text to speech, which is where now the AI can talk back to us because it's done the analysis on the text and can talk back. Text and data analysis, just at the foundation of everything that's going on here. A big important one now, though, is the corporate data access. For AI and automations to be working really well for you, the key is that we can connect into business systems. So that requires considerations around security, what can be written, what can be read, who can access that. So there's a fair bit to consider there. We can also go into specially trained models as well, a more advanced area that I think we're going to see a lot more in 2025, maybe some organizations towards the end of 2024, where we start to actually pull all of the data from the organization into our own privately hosted models, so that the systems in business can learn from what we're doing, and then the AI can start to make additional changes. Then a very important one is actions that the AI will take. Technically, we call this function calling. That's where the AI gets to a point, needs to make a decision and communicate with another business system, and it can actually write its own code to then communicate with the next business system. Vision, of course, is a powerful one that we're starting to see come out. We built our first vision model back in 2020. It's a security product that checks twice per second if the person sitting behind the machine is in fact the authorized user. But we're going to see vision come into all the way through to live video analysis, will become very normal into the future. Things like machine learning, that's where the algorithms are learning from the models and the data that comes through. The model itself, you'll hear that word a lot. If you've used ChatGPT, and the latest model they've released is GPT-4o Mini. Well, that model there, it's not a database. It's actually an AI machine learning model using the transformer technology. And so it's essentially going to dream out the next letter or word in its response to you. Models are incredible representations, but they're not precise. You're going to get some creativity come out, and you'll see this, and you will have experienced it, that when you chat with an AI model and you ask a question, the answer that comes out will be a little bit different each time. Often there's the general concept is going to be the same. Depending on how you prompt, your response can get quite varied. This is where we need to start augmenting the data, and I'll get to that in a moment. But one thing I like about using AI is that it feels in many aspects just like interacting with a human, in a sense that if you ask a human a question today and you were to transcribe the answer, and then you ask a human the same question tomorrow and transcribe the answer, it'll be a little bit different each time. So if we place the same expectations on the AI as we do on the humans, that there's going to be a bit of variation there, then we can take the next step to tighten that variation up. That's actually something called retrieval augmented generation. And that's where you want to get more precision in the responses that come out next time. So these language models that we utilize, they are huge, in some cases trained on over 1 trillion data points. It's a huge amount of information. It's the world's information. I often like to think of it, all the experts of the world are actually in that model. It's up to us to find them in the model and ask the right questions to get the answers out. Now, in business, you're looking for more consistency and precision. So we use a technique called retrieval augmented generation. That is actually where we'll be able to access the documents in the organization or data feeds, and actually convert that, whether it's text or numbers or images or video, into an array of numbers, and actually place it essentially on a graph so that the AI can see the connecting points between them and actually bring you back responses in a similar way that you might get from a normal database. Now, AI agents is another big topic here, and I'll share with you some amazing breakthroughs in AI agents shortly. An AI agent is an AI entity that does the work you do for you. Now, that you're either going to get excited by that or feel a bit concerned. The good news is it's not going to take away all your work, not by any means, but it's certainly going to help augment your work, and in some cases turn 6 to 8 hours of work down to 60 or 90 seconds. It's amazing what's possible. And then I've also mentioned here, human in the loop again, very important one that will be constantly leading these AIs into the future. So we're moving beyond just leading people to leading people and the technology of the artificial intelligence. Now, why now to consider what you're doing? Well, to me, it's always been about results and how can we help people win at work. And ChatGPT really opened up our minds to what's possible. The AI has been around for a long time. It was just that the utility arrived, the usability, the way for us to interact with the AI. And it's been amazing, but now we're at a point to go to the next level to start to actually blend this into our organizations to get the results. Now, interestingly, AI will be as required as electricity to run your business very, very soon. In fact, we've seen it already. We rolled out ChatGPT via our own interface. I'll show it to you here, to all of our team members in our organization back in March last year. We connected that so that we could do it through the API, make it a lot cheaper to run. And in addition to that, we gave them prompt templates and so forth. Now, in last year, when OpenAI had struggles with keeping their application program interface, the API, the connection, actually with all the weight and load on the infrastructure, it would go down at times, and our team members would be like sending through the support tickets. Why is the AI down? And we're already seeing it, but it will go to a whole nother level soon. Now, especially if we start to think about things like in business, in sales. If you're in B2B sales, by now it's really worthwhile to be including things like AI note takers that join you along in a Zoom or Teams session so you can get a full transcript and summary afterwards. In fact, we often have a bit of a chuckle at the fact that might be 4 people on the call and 4 AIs joining at the same time. It becomes very normal now to see an AI note-taking system join you. Now, AI note takers are fantastic because you can get a summary of afterwards, but I point out, what are we doing now prior to actually prep a person for their sales call? Now, in May last year, we put this challenge to our team and we ran a hackathon to, in fact, see what could we do to ramp up a salesperson faster. Now, one of the best ways to ramp a salesperson is to actually role play. The challenge with role playing is that, well, often you don't have a role play partner or there isn't a leader to oversee you and a coach to give you feedback. And so he said, what if we could load up a sales presentation, practice it, role play with the AI, and then at the end of it, get feedback where the AI agent turns into a coach and coaches us on 6 key factors of sales. Here's a quick sneak peek at this one. Hi there, Alex. It's Matt from Real Play. Thanks for taking my call today. Just checking, we've got about 10 minutes together on this call.
That's an interesting question. Hi, Matt. It's great to meet you. It's nice to have this time to understand the potential of Real Play and how it could positively impact the way we do business at Precision Solutions Incorporated. I'm excited to learn more.
Oh, that's great, Alex. That gives you a bit of an insight. And we go backwards and forwards and we do objection handling and so forth. And then at the end of it, it actually shifts into coaching. And these are my real results from my first ever time through. I'm going to tell you, I wanted to see more green. But clarity, audience engagement, handling objections, product knowledge, structure and flow, closing skills. And the AI lets us know with feedback what we did well and then room for improvement. Now, even this coaching part will eventually, or in fact soon, go into a full 2-way conversation to further enhance the salesperson. Another area that's been important for us to look at is how do we speed up the recruitment process? So if you're hiring people, you may have felt this challenge before, especially if you're a hiring manager and you're busy doing the work and you need to employ a new person, you'll feel the stress of just having the time to be able to do the interviews. Well, today our team have built out our Multiply Interviews or Interview Room AI platform. Here we've seen where it can take on average 45 days to close a position, even get down to as fast as 3 and 5 days, because the AI actually writes the position description for the job ad, it writes the questions, it writes the answers, it posts the ad online, it runs the interview via video, and then runs a full analysis afterwards. The cool thing is you can even have people go from the apply button on a LinkedIn job straight into an interview. Let's have a look at this video, which will give you an insight into how this works. Here the AI writes the position description. From there, it writes the questions, it writes the answers, poor, good, and excellent, posts the job out online, applicant does the interview, and then here's the output.
The overall business objectives and goals.
I love this question. This is one of the key things a product director must learn to do.
Now, all those custom questions, they get ranked. And then from there, we can look at the full transcription, what the applicant excelled in, room for improvement. That information goes to the applicant, which is a wonderful deposit for them, the emotional bank account, qualification scores, behavioral scores, personality profiling, even international English language test standards are able to be assessed by the AI. So have a look, think about what's going on in there. We've got a text-to-text moment. So we're writing some text, like the position title. The AI is writing it for us. So it's going off, it's doing an analysis due to the prompting at the back end. It brings that information back in. Automations post this online. Then as the applicant applies, we then go into video. So we're using video and video to text, speech to text there, analysis again, and all the way it comes through. There's so many elements. We're using retrieval augmented generation. But with all these building blocks, we're able to put them together to bring greater utility to the AI so that you, as an organization, you can be utilizing this. Now, the AI then ranks everyone, and what it does is it positions you to then move on to the live person-to-person interview, but with a lot more information at hand. And what's coming soon from us is to have a co-pilot for Zoom. So when you do your live interviews, the AI will join you there and suggest the questions and run the full analysis afterwards as well, removing a lot of bias from from the interview process and allowing you to actually have a greater data-based decision, because as humans, it's hard to keep in your head all of that information from all the interviews and compare. So we let the AI do the job that's best for it and let the human do the job that's best for them, which is the emotional connection with an individual. Now, fascinatingly, the impact on this, even interviews get down to costing like 7, 8, 9, 10 cents to run. It's quite fascinating. But it's just the beginning of it. Certainly one area that we're fascinated in are things like how much time we spend during the week just asking questions inside of our organizations and our ability to access the data that really makes sense to us. Now, McKinsey tells us that 19% of the week is spent on asking internal questions and searching for data. One of the answers to this is AI agents that are connected to your business data so that you can actually ask the agent the question and the answers can come forward for you. You're not having to wait for development teams to build out complex queries and new databases. You certainly do need to get your data in some order, but today it's a lot easier to achieve. Now let's first take a look at an AI agent, what they are. This is Raya Pro from our organization, from Multiply Tech. Here the interface looks similar to ChatGPT, but then you can create AI agents with no coding at all. The AI actually writes the AI agent in specialist roles. You can bring them together in workflows to execute a range of tasks, as we see here in a workflow. And in this example, and then connect it to SaaS tools as well. In this example, the AI is writing an article online based on the latest research for this specific business, and it brings together 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but 10 different AI agents, even writing the article, writing advertising copy. It does what would normally take 6 to 8 hours, like a day of work, in just minutes. Now, this doesn't replace the human, it enhances the human, it removes the writer's block. It removes a thing called approach avoidance conflict, which we all face whenever we sit down to do the work. Even as interested in it as you are, if it gets a little bit challenging, we tend to procrastinate. So how you remove procrastination is actually to be able to see the progress that you're making. And so as you sit down, you start to do the work, you use the AI, you see that jump forward in progress, dopamine is released, and that helps us to stay at the task for longer. Now, with what else is possible is AI documentation. So we've got a tool called the Source Wiki, where the AI actually can help you write your documentation. And then once you've got things like documentation and your AI agents, you can start to bring these all together and actually create role-specific AI agents that are grounded in the information that is specific for your business. And once you've got those, you can even do what we do. Here's an example where this is our Multiply Tech heads-up display. I can have an AI agent right here at my fingertips. Here's one that's trained on our employee handbook. You could ask any questions in relation to that information. I shouldn't say that's coming Q4 because that's here right now. But what is coming in Q4 is intelligent process automation built into our AI agents so that you can actually wire together a whole range of processes that currently occur in your business and automate them. Just like I shared earlier, imagine being able to do your debt collection process or arrears process where you just ask the AI and then it goes off and it checks your accounting system, the CRM, it prepares the emails, SMS, and phone call scripts, and even makes the phone calls and then updates the database afterwards. This is all right in front of us. And where it gets really exciting is soon in Q4, we'll be actually asking the AI verbally to execute these actions versus having to type it in. And actually the AI will be talking back to us. This is a mock-up of what you'll see from us in 2020 in
that purchased
Q4.
from us. Raya, who were the last 3 customers that purchased from us?
Hey Matt, the last 3 customers were Jacob Winters, Heavenly Architecture, Sarah Allen, Oak Ridge Outdoors, Robert Masters, Better Built Homes.
Thanks, Raya. How much did Better Built Homes spend and how did they hear about us?
Hey Matt, Better Built Homes spent $7,000. This is their first purchase and were referred by Randy Richard by Jacob Winters from Heavenly Architecture. Would you like me to draft a thank you email to Jacob?
You can see where this is going. This is going to be game changing for us to be able to interact on a daily basis with our AI verbally as well as by text. Now that's important because we speak on average at 140 words per minute, but we only type on average about 40 words per minute. So the speed at which we can interact is going to increase incredibly. Now, sometimes you might find that there's lots of different tools out there that you might be able to buy, but at other times you might want to build a tool to support you in what you're doing in your organization. In our people business at GoTeam, we've built a strategic workforce planning tool where the AI brainstorms up all the different types of roles that will suit an organization, and then it will write the position description and the goals and then go off and post those ads online and so forth through our interview room technology. So sometimes you'll want things that are more custom for you. Other times there'll be things that'll just work off the shelf. Now, as you go through any process along the way, you'll notice that we'll make phone calls. That's a very normal part. Today, it's possible to use AI. Let's have a look at this as an example of using AI. Now, AI phone calls can be used for appointment setting, support calls, accounts receivable, new employee onboarding. Just think of where the calls occur and where you'll be able to bring these to support your business. Have a look at this one. I'm going to get the AI agent to call me and I'll have a conversation with it. Let's do this now. Here it is. Put it on speaker.
And welcome to Call You, Phoebe speaking. How may I assist you?
Oh, hey Phoebe, it's Matt here. I'm interested in AI phone calling agents. Is that something you can help me with?
Hello, Matt. Absolutely, I can help with that. Are you looking for AI agents to handle inbound calls, outbound calls, or both? And is this for sales support or customer service?
Definitely both, actually. And I'd also like it for sales and support, if that's possible.
Great. We can definitely set up AI agents for both sales and support, handling both inbound and outbound calls. Would you like to schedule an appointment to discuss this in more detail, or is there something specific you'd like to know right now?
I'd like to know if it's possible for the AI to actually schedule appointments.
Yes, our AI agents are fully capable of scheduling appointments. They can manage your calendar and set up meetings directly with your team, which helps free up your time for other important tasks. Would you like to see how this works in a demo? And you get the example there. So powerful way to now start to engage verbally. And this is also possible, of course, in live chat or AI chat that's then augmented over to live chat as well. And so all of these items we're bringing to you in August and September. Phone calling's available now. AI chat's available now through our AI agents. We're then bringing the interaction where it hands over to the live agent. It's amazing what's possible if we start to look at our businesses in an AI-first approach. Now, when we get our team members during this time, there's going to be a rapid amount of change. That means people's goals will change. What they need to do will need to change. And so it's important to have a goal setting or execution methodology around things like OKRs, so objectives, key results. We do one step further. We go objectives, key results, and X factors. The X factors are the behavioral metrics that then drive the key result. We use AI to help plan out the actual types of metrics that teams need, so it inspires the team members. And then even things like doing our one-on-ones with team members. We're just about to release our AI coach in there, which will help to the leader to know what questions to ask a team member based on their current performance in their role. And then from the team member's perspective, what ideas they could have to adjust further to help enhance their results. When speaking of results, it's interesting with all this information and distractions going on, it's very easy for us to find days where we don't really feel like we're moving forward too fast because we're constantly replying to all these different messages and questions. And one of the ways to cut through that is actually to increase our focus and attention to get into something called flow state. Now, McKinsey & Co., also another great research article from them, shared that when we get into flow state, we get into the zone, we can do up to a 500% output on our productivity. Now, getting there is not easy. So we've gamified this through our new tool called Power Hour, which is in the Zoom marketplace now, officially goes live in August. And it brings team members together into deep work sessions where they work together online for 50 minutes on deep work.
It's got a 3-phase approach: plan, attack, celebrate. So team members are led by a human in the session to set forward what their plan is for the next 50 minutes. Everyone then jumps on. They go through a ritual. They focus and deliver the result. And at the end of it, we have a celebration phase where we gather back together. Now, this is gamified. AI is used to help gamify and encourage team members and actually invite them into sessions. And as our systems connect together, soon you'll see where it's able to understand the productivity levels of team members, and that if they're falling behind, actually invite them to power hour sessions to actually get the focus and attention they need to win at work. Now, there are so many different applications, but let's jump into understanding how to actually plan out this roadmap. Now, one of the best ways to do it is start with brainstorming with your team. If you go through the change management process, we want to engage the team so that they help to find the problems to solve in the organization. This becomes more important because their skill set is about to change in actually using AI on a daily basis. And later I'll talk to you about something called a flow engineer, which is where we create the AI agents into the workflows and the automations to actually improve the work outputs. Now, I believe that everyone will end up becoming flow engineers, at least at a basic level, because they'll be working with the AIs on a daily basis and actually running those AIs. Here's a really simple way to get started here. It's a core goals and core challenges worksheet. You can start by putting in the departments up the top there and write down, what is the core goal? So in marketing, generate leads. Now, recommend you go more specific and put the metrics in, but you get the idea from the thematics. Sales, revenue, customer service, delight, operations, delivery and full on time and specification, and so forth. From there, you brainstorm out what are the top challenges that are holding you back from actually delivering upon that goal. And after you've got those, then you can start to look for potential solutions. Things like using AI agents or different types of products, or maybe build something custom for yourselves. And you go through and then start writing out or changing all the different ones that are your ideas there. And fascinatingly, you might like to start with people, believe it or not, using pen and paper for creativity or post-it notes on the wall for high collaboration. And then you can move over to using AI as well and actually open people's minds up with what's possible. Now, we've got a 4-quadrant AI strategic roadmap process here to have a look at. It's where we start to consider things like whether we'll have build versus buy. Is your data ready? Also, what is the business objectives here around revenue, cost, customer, product, and other? This model here is inspired from our wonderful coaches at CO Coaching International. And here it's got from a business value perspective, going from low to high, and then from an ease of implementation, also from low to high. Now, as you start to plot out your ideas on the previous brainstorm, we then to consider those, are they revenue, are they cost, are they customer, are they product, are they other? Are we going to build or buy, and is the data ready? We can start to map those out, and we take them, you can change them or mark them on your sheets and then take them over and start to plan them out into the actual quadrants here to understand, hey, if it's good value, start today. Let's have a quick win. Even if the business impact is low, let's get some quick wins, show people what's possible. When the business value is high, really move fast on it. Now, if it's got high value, but it's going to take you longer to get there, maybe 2 or 3 years out, in many cases, it could be the smart move to wait, not start just yet, because the speed of change that's coming with the models and the tools, you might find something that you were thinking about building as a custom solution is actually going to be available through tools that are off the shelf in the next month, 2 months, 3 months, because now, whenever you decide to make a change, when you ever decide to implement some AI and automation, it's important to go through some key analysis questions to make sure, is this worthwhile doing? So here are the 9 key questions that all leaders need to be asking around AI strategies. First of all, which business area are we focusing on? Is it customer, revenue, profit, product, or other? Then understand today versus tomorrow. So what is the process today versus what it will look like in the future? Just like the quick version I showed you earlier in the debt collection arrears process as a starting point. And then you start to look for where are your bottlenecks, where are your challenges. You don't have to change everything in your process straight away. Just pick out a piece to augment and make the adjustment. Then you can run a test and see the impact, get the feedback. It's also important to understand what is the financial impact of the change, because is this worthwhile going after? And what is the cost of the change? Because we're always going to need to put some human involvement, maybe and definitely some technology. We've got to make sure that what we're going after, we are going to get the benefit from that change. What are the risks of not changing? Now, sometimes this may surpass what you see financially, because you might see that there's actually an extreme risk of not taking action because of what your competitors might be doing. Then you'll need to decide, is it build versus buy? As you're weighing all these up. How complex is the change and the adoption? Does the business case stack up overall? And if your data's ready, now you're into making a decision of when you're going to get started. Now, back to our garden hose analogy, just remembering that there will be lots of things to fix. You can't fix it all at once. So focus on the ones that will give you the best return and start to put in place a process for your implementation. We like to go through discover, design, deploy, educate, execute, and evaluate so that you've got a methodology there. And at the end of it, you can see, was this worth doing? I think it's very much the scientific approach. We've got to put forward the hypothesis of what's possible, run the experiment, and then analyze and evaluate at the end, and then make the adjustments. Now, if it's a larger project, this might go through a 90-day implementation cycle. But for many other areas, it might be just in 5 days. Or in fact, as you start getting used to using the AI agents, there'll be things that you can do in a day, in an hour. And I'll have a special invitation to you at the end of this session to our Flow Friday sessions, where you can come and join and actually build out agents alongside me. You'll see just how fast and easy it is to do. We'll often talk about in the agile approach of implementation sprints that are like for 1 week or 2 weeks. But I want you to think about this overall approach as being more like a marathon. It's not a sprint. Continuous improvement throughout your organization and continually to come back and implement the AIs and the impact. Because the impact you're going to get is outstanding. It's just getting started that's the key. Now, I love this old proverb or parable. It's if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. And there's no doubt that in this game, you need a team. Now, the team structure today has changed a lot compared to what it was 3 years ago to try and pull off a lot of the things that we can do today. No longer do you need a machine learning expert, although some businesses may want to get data scientists involved, but for the majority, none of that's required just yet. Not with the impact that you can actually receive around putting these 4 new roles into place. Now, as Jim Collins says, first who, then what. It's certainly worth ensuring we've got the right people in the right seats to help us when it comes time to actually implement AI. And here are the 4 roles: the Chief AI Officer, an AI implementation engineer, a flow engineer, and an AI implementation consultant. So the Chief AI Officer initially is going to be someone who's probably wearing 2 hats. They're an existing person in the organization, they're tech savvy, and they've got a real interest in seeing process improvement in the organization. If they're an avid learner as well, this is all going to serve you really well. Eventually in organizations, depending on the size, you'll need a full-time Chief AI Officer that's overseeing all of the implementations and making sure the AI strategy is matching the business strategy. But initially, it'll be more like a double hat position. Do you need someone with artificial intelligence and machine learning background or degree? I say no for the majority of organizations. If you're not going into building out your own models, then in this case, it's about understanding the concepts and being able to apply AI at work. The second one is an AI implementation engineer. This is where you're going to get a more technical person, often with experience in Python, working with APIs. They're able to connect different systems together. And they're a process thinker at the same time. That's a very important role, which you may find is someone who you bring in on a project basis. However, number 3, the flow engineer. This is where I believe every team member in the near future will need to understand flow engineering, which has been able to break down what they do in their current role and look at where the AI agents would sit, build the AI agent with no code required. It's very easy. It takes just like not even a minute now to build an AI agent, and then connect those agents together to be able to execute workflows. And then number 4 is an AI implementation consultant, someone who can come in with experience and actually bring knowledge and give guidance to the chief AI officer, implementation engineer, and flow engineer, just so they're up to date with the latest of what's possible. Now, when it comes to building a team, if you'd like to build an AI-powered team, well, we'd love to help you out with this. We can certainly help you out. If you'd like to build a team offshore at GoTeam, the home of AI-powered people, we can help supply with full-time workers, generally at a 60 to 70% saving of what you would see onshore. And best of all, they're in an environment where we're constantly applying AI, and it's very powerful. In fact, in some roles, we're seeing up to 500% output in productivity just by actually applying AI effectively. So you can, and we're constantly going through upskilling and educating the team as well. You can book a call there, grab that QR code or the link go.team/book-a-call. Now, speaking of upskilling, Flow Engineering is available through Flow Fridays. And we also have coming up our Chief AI Officer 90-day implementation bootcamp. When it comes to Flow Fridays, that's available on YouTube, LinkedIn, and on Zoom. If you're a paying customer or you're in trial phase as well on Raya Pro, we recommend that you join Flow Friday sessions, or if the timings don't work for you, you can always watch those on YouTube afterwards. It's where we post all of those sessions there. In these sessions, we do a side-by-side build. So we help to build up the skill set and the confidence to be able to build out the AI agents. And you always walk away with something incredibly valuable that will benefit your organization. In fact, tomorrow's session, we're going to look at how to use AI agents to level up your one-on-one meeting game with your team members and to get incredible impact and constantly learn as a leader and give the best output to the team members. Coming in September is our Chief AI Officer 90-day bootcamp. Now, this is a limited group intake. For these, we'll be meeting on a live, hands-on 2-hour workshop every week. In fact, we're going to adjust that slightly. It'll be a 2-hour workshop every week, and then just a general Q&A support session the following week. And because there's quite a bit to implement, you need a bit of time to run the implementations. We're going to go through all these areas like applying through marketing, sales, customer service, operations, finance, HR. We'll build out personal AIs that can go onto the desktop for all employees. We'll be confidently running the AI strategic roadmap process, running AI agile implementations. We'll actually give you the format to run those. We'll also talk about overcoming the challenges with people in this process. When you get pushback, how to handle that. Really becoming an AI-first intelligent organization. We'll show you how to write your documentation using AI, also working with all that foundation data and connecting your business systems to the real-time data. And by the end of the course, you'll be actually setting up intelligent process automation, connecting different systems together and starting to see some incredible impact in time, quality, and cost. All the way through to even building out the voice agents for your sales and customer service. It's a detailed program. We're pretty excited to bring this one to you and the impact that you'll see from it. If you're interested in that one, please just email me, matt@multiply.tech, and we can go through the process to apply. We're going to make sure that it's going to be of great value to you and that the timings can work out for you as well. I'll round us up today. We're right on time today to say that if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. If you want to go fast and far, then we recommend you go with GoTeam and Multiply Tech. Hey, thanks everyone for joining us for today's live stream, which has been all about the AI strategic roadmap. We believe that now is the time to get started. Don't wait, don't fall behind. There's remarkable tools. All we need to do is get the mindset connected to that tool set, and then we can start taking action today. So thanks everyone, wishing you a great day and looking forward to seeing you again. I think great to see Andy here today. Welcome, Andy. I'll look forward to catching up with you soon, brother. Right, bye everyone, and have a great day. Thanks, team. Thanks, Chase. Thanks, team.